Hi guys, so I realized that I haven't talked to you in like a while. I've been meaning to do these like weekly vlogs, but it's already Wednesday and I haven't even started it, so I'm gonna do it now. It's just that this week is a little bit different because I have these I have class like every day for 5 hours, so from like 9:30 to 3:30, and so I get home at like 4 and I'm tired. I'm always tired, and so I don't really do any, I'm not really doing any reading this week, but I thought I'd still vlog because why not? So as you might know, I study translation for a master's degree, so this week for the first time I got to try out interpreting, and it's a very basic class, and we did both consecutive and simultaneous. So we're like in the booths or like cubicles, whatever, where you're like, you know, through a microphone and with headphones and all that kind of jazz. So that's pretty cool that we got to try that out, even though it's insanely difficult. I tried simultaneous for the first time yesterday. It was from English to German, and I was terrible at it. It's really, really difficult to be like listening to something and like translating at the same time, obviously. And then you have to sort of sound very confident even when you're not, and have to make it seem like this is something you do every day when your nerves are literally fluttering and you're shaking because you're so nervous. So that's, at least that was my experience. Found it really, really hard. I did it again today. Today went better. And also today I did my first time translating Japanese. Not simultaneous though, it was a conversation. So I asked my tandem partner, my friend from Japan, to come and sort of help us out and be like the Japanese person in the situation. So we did like a little role play thing where somebody was like asking, so the topic was like gender quotas, or like, you know, female quotas that are supposed to be like, if there should be like legally set, I guess. So, my God, I'm so tired. I can barely think. Basically, there should be sort of by law defined quotas, for example, in like, my brain is in Japanese, I can't, rida, kaisha no rida. Like for example in companies, if there should be a management position, if they should have a certain amount of women, or in, you know, the government and stuff like that. But basically that's the topic that we talked about, and so basically the situation was like, my friend was from Japan and she was being asked questions about the situation of women in the Japanese society and stuff like that, and I was the translator to interpret it. And the good thing is that we do tandem every week, so we're very in tune, I think, in terms of like, you know, we understand each other. Like she literally saw on my face whenever I didn't understand something she was saying and instantly phrased it differently, and like I am beyond grateful to her for that. That's super awesome, because it really helped me. Like some things I just like didn't know what she was saying, and she's like, she instantly noticed. I think that's really cool. And she, you know, in general tried to phrase things very simply, and I obviously made a lot of mistakes in Japanese, but because I was the only person besides her who spoke Japanese at all in the class, nobody could really tell. And so, you know, I think people are saying how it's like really impressive, and I found it really funny because it's literally a class full of people that speak multiple languages, but because every other language, like everybody kind of understands at least a little bit, like bits and pieces. For Japanese, nobody understands anything, so I think that that's the biggest difference. But yeah, overall I actually think it went fairly well. I got pretty much like positive feedback, especially on like my demeanor, because apparently I was pretty confident. At least I tried to seem very much like confident. Can't you tell that I'm literally incapable of speaking? So yeah, the class finished at 3. After that, I went for a hot chocolate with my friend, and we did some more tandem, so I spoke some more Japanese. And yeah, I really feel like this week my Japanese, just specifically this week, I don't know why, has really gotten better. Like I've noticed, noticeably so, at least to me, and that's really weird because I've not really been doing anything specifically, but I feel like, you know, sometimes when you're learning a language and you feel like you're at a plateau for like a really, really long time, and at some point it just sort of clicks and you're like on the next level. I feel like that's what happened to me this week, and it's really, really motivating because I was starting to get a little bit frustrated recently. But for example, yesterday in preparation for today, I just tried to consume as much Japanese oral no, like auditorily, like what spoken Japanese as possible. So I watched a bunch of documentaries, very random, nothing to do with this topic. Like one was on Japanese women's prisons, or like one specific one, and another about a woman whose mother had committed suicide. It was both very interesting, very random, but I understood like probably 80%, 90%, depending on the situation. I did look up some words, but largely I understood everything, and I literally felt like, I don't know if any of you, if you've learned a language to a high level, you might know this feeling. It's like at first you feel like you're on the outside of the language, like you are always a little bit distant from it, and you're just trying to break through this wall. And yesterday, for the first time, I literally had this feeling of like I'm in it, like I'm in it, you know what I mean? And I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it felt really good. I think it also had a positive influence on how I spoke today, not necessarily in the interpreting situation, because I think I said a lot of very like wrong things. Once I just did not even translate her stuff correctly. I literally just made some stuff up that she didn't say, but you know, it's fine, nobody could tell, and it's just for practice, really. It's good to practice these things, and I think especially with interpreting, that's pretty much aside from knowledge, it's like language knowledge, it's probably the most important component, is that you just like do this a lot, and then you just get used to it. I also uploaded my Lady Midnight Rant review yesterday, and I'm really happy. It doesn't even have a dislike, which is, you know, probably the biggest surprise to me, because it's obviously a full-on rant video, but I think people understand that it's just for fun, at least so far they have, and nobody's been taking it too seriously, which is very nice. I'm very proud of it, and I'm really happy you guys are enjoying it as well, because it was truly a lot of work. I filmed it on Sunday night, and it took me about 2 hours to film the whole thing, and editing took probably twice as long, I'm not sure. And then I obviously had to watch it all back as well, so that took another hour, and I just spent a lot of time on it, and I was really happy on how it turned out, so I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying it too. Since my friend unfortunately is moving back to Japan very soon, and her boyfriend as well, he's Austrian, but he also learned Japanese. They're both trying to get rid of some stuff, so she brought me like a huge bag of things that I'm gonna buy from them, like secondhand, and it's awesome. It's a lot of N1 JLPT study materials, and even an electronic dictionary. If you didn't know, Japanese people and anybody who like learns Japanese this is really common, or like popular with these people, with us, to use an electronic dictionary, because with kanji especially, it can take a very long time to try and look it up in like a paper dictionary. You know, new, they cost about 350 to 400 euros, which is not cheap at all. And I got this one for 150, and the rest of the stuff for another 50, so I feel like this is a really good deal. I just got like a huge pile, I think it's more than 10 books for the N1. It's really cool. And then this is the dictionary. I'm just gonna try and show you real quick. It looks like new, honestly. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hi guys, it's the next day, and again, I'm only getting to film at like 7 p.m. right now. I had another long day of uni. This week is really exhausting. There's a lot of people in my class, so it's not my turn to like do anything a lot of the times, but you still need to like be paying attention, giving other people feedback, being a part of like the whole thing, so it's still very exhausting. Today we did a like pretend mock conference type thing, where like half of the group were like speakers, and the rest are like were having a discussion, and the rest was doing simultaneous interpreting, and it was really cool, like really cool. I'm so obsessed with it now. I've done it twice before. It was always from English into German, and it was always a speech, but this time it was like a natural setting of people like talking to each other and sort of having conversations, and it was really interesting the way it was done. Everybody was speaking their B languages, so we had like English speakers, French, Italian, Hungarian, I think Russian as well, and then German, but we were only the teacher and like one other girl. And so there were 2 people in my booth, I guess, so we were switching every 10 minutes or so, because the whole thing lasted like 45 minutes. And so we had to basically translate, anytime the English speakers were speaking, we would translate that into German, obviously. And then anytime anybody else was speaking, we would translate the translation of that from German into English, if that makes sense. So it's called relay interpreting, where you interpret somebody else's interpretation when you don't speak the language directly, so you have to like take a little detour. And that was really difficult at times because a lot of the people, you know, for example, that were doing Italian translations were Italians themselves, so German, it was not their mother tongue, and some of them were very good at German, others not so much, and like that's kind of the same across the board. Like some people are just like not as strong in the language, but that's all you have to go off is like what they're saying, and you still have to try and make like coherent sentences of it. And I think it worked out pretty well, actually. I was actually really surprised. I was really pleased with how it went with my own performance, because it was a lot better than the other 2 times I did it. I felt a lot surer myself. I was not as nervous. The first time they gave me the feedback that my voice really sounded like I was breathing it very, very shallowly, like I almost didn't get enough air in my lungs because I was just so nervous. So I was trying to work on that, and now I think this time I sound much more sure of myself. It's not perfect at all, but I think I definitely noticed my progression over the week, and I think that that's like the most important thing. It's also very cool to get to see this entire technological side of it, to be in the booth, to get to work with all the different things. It's kind of difficult because you need to switch channels a lot, like input and output channels and stuff like that as you're doing the translation, so it's like a lot to be mindful of at once. But I guess as soon as you're sort of in the rhythm of it, it should be fine. You know, as somebody who's a complete beginner, or most of us were very overwhelmed, I guess, with the technical component as well, or technological component. But in the end, I think it went really, really well. Again, another very long clip, I know, but this is probably going to be the only way that I get to like talk to you guys this week. So, and I do want to really keep you up to date with this, and I want to like capture this on camera because it's really my first week actually trying out interpreting. And at first I was very hesitant. I was not really into it. I thought that I would be better at like consecutive or dialogue as I did yesterday with Japanese. And I do think I could do that, but I'm very bad at taking notes. There's like specific note-taking techniques, and I just, so far, I can't do it. I'm writing down way too much. If you want, she uploaded the clips of the records of what we translated, so I can put in a little clip here maybe if you are curious. I'm gonna pick one that's rather good. There's definitely worse parts as well, but I'm just so you maybe know what it like sounds like, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you don't care, but I think it's interesting, so here you go.
Eine sehr treffende Aussage
that was a very
vom
fitting
französischen Kollegen.
Speech from our colleague.
Ich stimme vollkommen zu.
I agree
Und ich muss auch ein
100%.
Kompliment machen.
And I also have
Sie sind
to
wirklich ein echter Mann. Sie
give a compliment. You're truly
sehr an
a true
unsere
man. You
russischen
remind me
Männer.
very much
Ja?
of our
Sie
own
sind Versorger,
Russian men.
Sie gehen
You're a provider.
arbeiten und sie
You go to
können gut
work.
arbeiten.
You're
Sie
capable
sind
of doing
stark.
good work.
Sie
You're
versorgen
strong.
die
You provide
Familie
for your family.
und haben auch das Geld
And
für
you
die
do have the
Geschenke
money
für
for
eigene
presents
Frau.
as well for your own
Sehr
wife,
gut, finde ich.
which
Ich
I
muss
really,
sagen,
really like.
teilweise
I totally agree with
Ich stimme
many
Ihnen
points that were mentioned.
in vielen Dingen, mit Ihnen in vielen Dingen überein.
That
Wie
it's
zum
not
Beispiel,
fair that women are being paid
dass es
lower
unfair
payments
ist,
than
wenn
men, or
Frauen
that
ein geringeres
women are being
Einkommen
asked
bezahlt
whether
bekommen als
they
Männer, oder
they have plans to
wenn
get
sie gefragt werden, ob
to
sie
become mothers or get
Kinder
children.
bekommen wollen. So I just worked out for a little bit. I really needed to change it up, I guess, from all the sitting, because that's, I think, also really exhausting about like being in class for so long, because then you're exhausted and you don't really feel like doing anything. But doing a bit of yoga, a little bit of like, you know, I don't know what it's called, calisthenics, I don't know, really helped, and I feel a lot better now. And now I'm just heating up some more dinner. So we had this, my boyfriend made this today. It's just like green beans, potatoes, and like sour cream, I think. It's so good. I'm obsessed with it, so I'm having a second serving. It's just really good. Also at this point, I have to say I like need to give a shout out to my boyfriend for being truly amazing this week. He's been doing everything, like all the cooking, cleaning, he's doing the dishes, doing laundry. He's a really good house husband, even though we're not married. I just would just say like, oh, you're such a good houseman. Because he really is like, you know, like, I don't know, I think I did vlog that week where he was really busy and I was like doing everything. So this week it's the other way around and he just works so well. I love it. And him. Oh, okay. Cheesy moment over. I just needed to say that. Good morning, guys. I know I look weird. I'm currently wearing one of these tar masks. I think that they were like popular like a year ago or so when everybody was doing these like wild reaction videos because they're so painful to take off. I've done this once before. It's not that bad. I don't know if people are just very sensitive or if theirs are more painful, but I didn't find it that bad. Like, it's Saturday morning, I'm in bed. My boyfriend has already gone back to our hometown, so I have the flat to myself for the next like 2 days. I leave on Monday as well, but for now it's the morning, so I just put on a mask and went back to bed because I don't actually have like a ton to do anymore. Now that I've completed this class, we don't have an exam or anything. It was just like all the things that we're doing in class that we are being graded on. I did receive my mark for my Japanese class this year and got a B. I'm so excited about that because I felt definitely like my Japanese was on par with everybody else's, and so I'm just like so excited about a B. Interpreting class is now over. It was so fun. I know this entire vlog is just me talking about interpreting. I don't know how you guys are interested in that, probably not a lot, but it's just so fun. And this is even more important, it's just something that like suits me, I think. I mean, obviously did already know before that I do have a brain for languages because it just like works much easier with languages than, you know, some other people's, whereas they have other things that they're better at. It's just like a talent thing, I think, or like just like how your brain is wired. So mine works really well with languages, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're any good at interpreting. And I don't know, it just felt right. And it was really fun. It was really challenging as well. It's exciting. It's exciting to do, especially simultaneous. I even dreamt, I think. I just realized I dreamt of, I had to do a consecutive interpreting of a speech. Wow, this is like people still skiing in bed, like I'm still interpreting in bed. I am far from perfect at it, of course. This was my first time doing it. And there's so much to learn. I especially need to improve my note-taking because I suck at it for consecutive. I don't know, I felt such a big change, and the teacher said this as well. She's like, you had a huge jump from the beginning to the end that was really visible. Also in my confidence in the booth when I was doing sim, and I personally noticed that as well. It's like my biggest thing. Because going into this week, I was terrified of doing simultaneous. I thought it was undoable essentially, or that there was such a high skill cap. I mean, there is, but that there were such high like entry requirements essentially. For the first like, I don't know how long, you would just suck completely and would have to go through like horrible sessions until you finally reach a point where like, okay, I think I can kind of do it. But for me, like the third time I did it, it was night and day to the first. And it was just a matter of confidence because it was with English and German in particular. I know I have the language skills. Like that is, I'm there with the language. I haven't tried with Japanese. I probably couldn't do it. It was just so fun. It was so challenging. It was so rewarding as well, again, to see mainly just the progress. And it was fantastic. I had such a cool week. It was super awesome. The teacher was amazing. And I'm just excited about it. Like, I can definitely see myself doing interpreting at some point. Let's move on back to the topic of reading because I have not read at all this week. I did try like a bit of a Detective Conan manga in Japanese because I wanted to, again, like just for a practice, but I didn't get very far. And yesterday night I started on The Silkworm by Cormoran Strike. What? No. By Robert Galbraith. Cormoran Strike is the main character. And I'm like 20-30 pages in. I don't know. I wanted to try much earlier last night. I wanted to like read for the whole evening, but I ended up not reading until I went to bed. Before then I was literally just like hanging around on YouTube watching random videos, which I always fall into that trap, especially when I'm tired. I am basically just gonna read a little bit today. I just want to chill, basically do a few things here and there that needs doing. I might have to film refilm a section of the video I want to upload tomorrow. So we'll see, but I'm just enjoying the fact that I'm off uni, that I can sleep. Yellow. This is me coming to you from my floor again, where I would film all my videos, because I just again filmed some videos. I hate my lipstick. I have to take it off for real. This is the lipstick I'm currently wearing. It's a Gosh lipstick. It's a liquid matte lips, lèvres liquide matte, whatever that means, in a Chinese rouge, and I apologize for my terrible French just now. Anyway, it's so sticky. I am sure you can see. I just filmed like 1.5 videos, I guess. It's so sticky. I think anytime I like say like things like an M, it's like you can see my lips like sticking together like crazy. I had to film like the second part of a video I have to upload today, so yeah, I'd already procrastinated hardcore on that because I should have done it yesterday, but I didn't. Yesterday was my first full like free day after these 5 days of intense like interpreting stuff, and I just didn't do anything all day. I was basically eating junk food and watching YouTube videos all day, and I did a little bit of reading, but mainly just doing nothing. So that was pretty cool. I just like these days of just like vegging out like crazy, and then I get myself together and I'm like excited to be put together again because of that day where I just like let everything loose. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. Personally, I like doing that. So anyway, that was it for me yesterday after a week of being pretty stressed. So that was fun, and today I'm getting back on track. As you can tell, I just filmed some videos. I am still reading The Silkworm, which you will have already also seen that video because it was also a weekend read. I'm on page 150, I'm liking it, but as I said in that video, it's a little difficult for me to focus because I get sidetracked like constantly. Like anytime anything in the book reminds me of like my real life, like it doesn't even have to be anything specific, even just like an English expression that I think is pretty cool. I've started thinking again about the past week if I did make any mistakes in my interpretations, and like, you know, if I used the wrong things. Like it's crazy, my brain right now, it's like really critical of itself, of myself, and it's very annoying, and I'm finding it just very difficult to like not constantly think about the things that worry me, because there's no point in constantly worrying about things that you can't change right now anyway. But that's unfortunately what's happening in this book a lot, so I have to like reread passages. It's super annoying and I just have to stop, but I can't. But anyway, I think this video is already long enough. I've probably like talked your ear off about interpreting and my issues all week now. So we should probably call it quits for this video at least, and you know, end it finally. I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. And if you have any other questions about like interpreting or anything like that, or if you even want me to do a video on it, let me know. I don't really want to take my channel in a different direction ever. I do always want to be focused on the books things, but at the same time I'd really love to like have a more consistent you know, uploading schedule of other videos as well, of like language videos, for example, or like interpreting videos or something like that, something to do with languages. So if you have any other recommendations or requests in that direction, please let me know. And if you really don't want me to do that, also let me know, because I'm really unsure. Like, I want to put out content that you guys enjoy, but I also want to put out content that I enjoy. And sometimes I just like have things that I want to talk about, and it's really sad when nobody wants to hear it. So, you know, you better let me know beforehand if that's even something that's interesting to you. Thank you so much. I will see you very soon with another video. Until then, have a lovely week. Bye!